Take me back to Sun and Bass. Oh my word. Possibly one of the best weeks in my professional life, like honestly. So it's the 8th of October today, and on the 8th of September, I was standing in a pizza oven trying to work out what the hell was going on with my life. It was mad. It was the very first One More Thing Sun and Bass social. I was there with Chris SU, Clute, Track, and Chef. And it was a beautiful experience, and it led to another 5 days of broadcasts from Alfaro Hotel in San Teodoro. If you've been to Sun and Bass, you'll already know like this is going to be gushing with appreciation for this very unique event. If you've never been, I totally understand because it's not an easy thing to get to. It's long to travel to, and it's expensive as well. You know, it's expensive. It's a week holiday. I'm going to cover a couple of those points in a minute. I want to tell you a little story first about how it all came about. I kind of mentioned it last week on the Everything's an Experiment update. Basically, I had watched a video of Fabio interviewing Caliber in a bar in La Cinta, a beautiful beach, which is right in the middle, the centre of everything Sun and Bassy, really, certainly during the days. And I thought, oh, go on. Like, it was amazing. Having interviewed Caliber a whole bunch of times as well, like, you know, it was a joy to watch, and huge love to Fabio and Caliber. And I thought, I want a piece of that. If there's any event where One More Thing could do a takeover like that, where it's not just about the music, it's about the story, it's about the interview, it's about the people, it's about the culture. I thought Sun and Bass is the place. Like, Sun and Bass is the place where I can do that. I've only ever been once. I was really lucky. I was a guest, not as an artist or anything like that. You know, I was just put up on the guest list for all the events there in 2018. I'll level with you. There's no other way I could have gone. No other way I could have gone. Like, I got a young family. I'm a freelance music journalist specialising in a niche form of electronic music, which certainly at the time was nowhere near as big as it is now. And even now it's big. I'm not covering the big shit, so I'm staying even more niche. In summary, I don't have very much money. I can't afford to go to Sun and Bass. I'm cool with that. It's something that I would save up for. I know that there's a lot of people watching thinking like they'd love to go to Sun and Bass in the same situation, like the cost he lives, like, you know, cost of living. We are going to get to that. But anyway, I thought I'm going to email those guys, and I'm going to say, yo, like, I think there could be some potential here. I didn't really know Stefano and Martina really particularly well or anything. It was a very arrogant thing of me to do, to be honest. I can't even remember doing it. And I consequently forgot about it. 18 months later, April this year, I wake up, I'm at my mate's house. No, it was maybe it was May. Maybe it was May, or it was April. It was the night where we had the Northern Lights. And I woke up at my mate's house. And we'd been listening to Mark System and Cleveland Watkiss's mix at Sun and Bass the night before, which I'm going to put in the description down there, because I think it's one of the best mixes that's out there, like the best drum and bass mixes you could possibly find. Yeah, it's that good. And we've been talking about Sun and Bass, weirdly. And then I wake up to a message, a WhatsApp from Stefano saying, we'd love to talk to you about that email. I'd forgotten about the email. I was like, what the hell did I do last night? No, it was the email that I'd sent 18 months before. Sometimes these things happen. You sow the seeds. You don't know what's going to happen. And yeah, this seed blossomed into a mad interviewee tree in a pizza oven. That's where we were doing the interviews, outside this hotel. It had a little bit of a kind of shelter, so if it rained, and it did rain, oh my God, it rained. Or if it's really baking sun, and it did sun, oh my God, it sunned. Is that even a phrase? Like, but it was mad, and I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I'd never done a stream, been part of loads of streams over the years. Never actually run one myself. I knew what I needed to do. I got this camera that I'm talking to you on now. I had to cobble together and get some kit. I knew that I wanted a couple of microphones, so I had to get a little microphone desk and stuff. When I got there, then we set up, and I thought I'd have like sound tech guys there every day. No, they just came and helped me for the first day, and then it was just me and another dude, Alex, who was there, who was incredibly helpful, and he'd never done anything like that either. And we made it happen. and there's over 12 hours of interview footage, which is available. I've got the whole playlist is in the description, and now we're starting to upload the interviews individually. So I believe, I'm not entirely sure which interviews we're going to upload at 7 p.m., but 7 p.m. every night we're going to be uploading ones. We interviewed so many people, like there were so many highlights. People like Mark's System, like people like Groove Rider and Jumpin' Jack Frost just pop their heads in every now and again. There's Loki, Clute, Floor, Storm bought all of the function lot. There were so many people. Dom and Roland, Seba and Paradox, like London Electricity playing exclusive music that he's releasing on Metalheads, like mind blowing stuff. All done live, ad hoc, outdoors, in all kinds of weather, all kinds of different challenges and stuff. It meant that I didn't see a lot of the music. I went home early every night because I needed to get sleep to do the streams. I stayed sober until the very last night when I had a couple of glasses of wine and I DJ'd and stuff like that. I didn't go as a raver. I was very much going as a worker, like all of the artists do. And that it was an experience. It was an experience I hope to be able to repeat. I hope to be able to develop. I hope to be able to develop that at other events. If you're watching this and you do an event and you think like, yeah, like, you know, we could do some live broadcasting. Like, it's a great way. It's great for one more thing, but it's also a great way of showing what you're doing and talking about what you're doing to a wider audience and giving people the FOMO. Like, there are a lot of people, like my oldest mate, Gwyn, who I've known since I was 6, and he's from a very different musical world. He's had a big musical life himself. He was watching the streams and stuff like that. Now, I doubt that Gwyn would have even heard of Sun and Bass. So yeah, if you're thinking like, oh right, okay, this could be a way of working with one more thing, like, we can come. If you're in the UK, then we'll bring a whole crew. Like, we'll bring a mob lot of us. Like, you know, this is what we do. Like, we're telling stories, we're documenting, we're celebrating what's going on. And that's exactly what we were doing at Sun and Bass. At points, there was one particular day when I had technical difficulties, and I set my ambitions and my expectations of myself incredibly high, and I was really depressed, like really depressed, because things didn't go in the way that I wanted them to, just technically, and I really missed my family, and it made me realize, like, you know, kind of how much I was out there on my own. But it was absolutely stunning. It was beautiful to connect with so many awesome people from the drum and bass scene, and from the wider electronic music scene. And like yesterday, I was talking about the freshest drum and bass playlist, and sometimes I think, you know, like, which is a reminder that there's so much great music coming out every single week. And Sun and Bass also did that to me, because sometimes it's very easy to get jaded. Sometimes you're online all the time and you get distracted by quite a lot of negativity, because there's quite a lot of negativity surrounding anything online, not just drum and bass, but drum and bass does seem to love its negativity and its stupid drama, and I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about Sun and Bass. So I was getting pretty jaded. And then I went out and I heard sets by people like D-Bridge, people like The Untouchables, Charlie Green, The Source, like so many people, Break, Tracks, so many people played so much outstanding music, and it was coming from the source, like the actual source, not the source. It was just beautiful. And it completely reconnected me. And the first thing I did when I came back is I left all of the social media groups relating to drum and bass, because that's not the real drum and bass. The Facebook drum and bass, TikTok drum and bass, any of that, even if it is populated by people who make and play drum and bass, online drum and bass is not the real drum and bass. Get out there to wherever you can. And if you can get to Sun and Bass, it is doable. Like, I've spoken to a lot of people. So this is the downside of Sun and Bass, is that not everybody in the crowd were my people. I'm going to be completely honest there. Like, I'm poor. I've been poor all my life. I'm quite happy with that. Like because I get to do exactly what I want on my own terms, and that makes me a rich man. But in terms of actual kind of being able to just fly anywhere and stuff like that, I don't have that money. I was very sober as well, and there was a lot of very, very wasted drunk people. And even if I was on that tip, I wouldn't have been able to afford to have got that that level of wasted. Um, so there was like, when I first arrived, it's just like, oh my god, like even when I got on the plane, like this girl was like, have you ever been to Sun and Base before? I was like, oh, once in 2018. She's like, what happened in the years in between? So I was busy doing other stuff. I couldn't afford it. There's a lot of people who go out there every year, but they save. Like at first I was just like, what? Like these are, I can't relate to that level of expendable income. I have other commitments and stuff, and that's totally cool. But then the more I was talking to people, yeah, there are people. There's people who travel thousands of miles every single year, and they're from another world. Like, cool, good for them. Quite entitled behaviour though. Quite a lot of entitled people that I'd see. Like, I'm going to be completely honest about some of the community who go there every year. But there's other people who save and save and save. They save their pennies. The minute the dates are announced, they buy their flights. They're not looking at the lineup. They're not caring. They get their flights straight away. They get a villa with a lot of them, and they're all tipping in. They're all like, literally sleeping in a cupboard or whatever. There are people who really make it like a proper effort. And I did as well because I was working out there. I just had a limited amount of allowance out there. So I just bought pasta and pasta sauce every day and some really nice bread and cheese. I fed myself and my housemates for €50, like for the entire week. And that's including bottles of water as well. So it really is doable. You don't have to go to all the restaurants. You don't have to drink. The minute you go sober and the minute you're eating at home, you've probably saved yourself about €2,000 or something like that. So Sun and Base is really doable on a budget, and I can't recommend it enough. I can't recommend it enough. And no shade to all of the people who can afford to go to restaurants every single time and stuff like that. Like, yeah, amazing for you. Congratulations. Like, I would say there is some like really awful kind of entitled behaviour that we saw, especially displayed to some of the bar staff and some of the staff members. Like, that's not cool. Like, but I very much doubt you're watching this. And if you are watching this, you probably would have turned off ages ago because I'm rambling now. What I want to say is the Sun and Base is unique, completely unique. It is a real gathering of so many really important, influential, inspiring, and just genuinely straight up people. Like it's the antithesis to a lot of the big events, I would say. And I hope that One More Thing can have a presence out there in the future. Who knows what's going to happen? You never know when you plant these seeds. You never know where things are going to lead to or anything like that. But we're starting to upload the interviews now individually, so you can check them all out. Everything is up there already in the playlist. All of the live streams, they are raw, uncut, and as live as they were when we did them, with all of their faults. Like, I'm making massive mistakes at certain points in almost every interview. There's clumsy bits, like, we're doing things on the fly, but that's what made it beautiful. So if you weren't aware for some reason, or you just haven't quite caught them, or you were wondering what all of that was about or anything, it was Sun and Base, and it was one of the highlights. We've been really lucky to get to do loads of cool stuff this year, like Rampage Open Air and Big Love, and all these other events and stuff like that. And Sun and Base was a great way of finishing the summer. So if you haven't already, or if you'd like to, check all the links in the description. There's going to be regular interviews now uploaded. I can't recommend them enough, really. There's loads of great history and loads of great drum and bass content there, really. So please check it out, and I will be back again tomorrow for the One More Thing Daily, updating you on all the cool stuff that is going on in our little universe and beyond. Peace.